In this video, we will discuss what type of a question can be framed in CBSE exam from the topic human digestive system. So first of all, you must know the steps which are in the human digestive system. The first one is in the mouth, intake of food will take place, and in the mouth present teeth, tongue and salivary gland. So what is the role of teeth? Is to chewing and grinding the food. Tongue will help in rolling, tasting and swallowing of the food. Now the important question comes from this topic, salivary gland. Salivary gland secretes saliva. What is the role of saliva? It contains a salivary amylase which convert starch into sugar. So 1 mark question that the first breakdown of carbohydrate takes place in the mouth where it is converted from starch to sugar. So this is a site of first breakdown of carbohydrate. And second important point, sometime a reasoning question framed, why food becomes sweet in taste if we chew for longer time? Because salivary amylase convert starch into sugar. So these are the steps which are taken place in the mouth. Then food move through this food pipe, that is the esophagus. So taking food from mouth to stomach by the peristaltic movement. Now what is this peristaltic movement? The contraction and expansion of muscles of esophagus. The contraction and expansion of muscles of esophagus is known as a peristaltic movement. Now after this, the food reaches the stomach. In the stomach, there are gastric glands which secrete gastric juices which contain a pepsin enzyme. So this is the next important question, that pepsin is the enzyme that break proteins. So the first breakdown of proteins takes place in the stomach here. What is the role of mucus? It protects the inner lining of the stomach. What is the role of HCl? It makes, and the important role of HCl, that it makes the medium acidic, and only in the acidic medium pepsin enzyme is activate. So role of the HCl is to make the medium acidic, and the second important, in the acidic medium only pepsin will activate. And what is the role of pepsin? It will break protein. So the first breakdown of protein takes place in the stomach. This one is the important part from this section. Now next come a elaborated form, that is after stomach it gets secretion from the pancreas and the liver, and the food reaches the small intestine, which is the longest part of this digestive system. So it receives secretions from liver and pancreas. A separate video for the trick to learn these enzymes already uploaded, and the link of that video is in the description. So kindly check, ठीक है, आप easily वो learn कर सकते हैं सभी steps. अभी सिर्फ मैं यहाँ पे important point discuss कर रही हूँ, that pancreas contain a pancreatic juice which contain trypsin, lipase and amylase. Trypsin helps in breakdown of protein into peptones, lipase fats into lipid, amylase breakdown of carbohydrate into glucose. So pancreatic juices में 3 major part हैं, trypsin, lipase, amylase. Trypsin proteins into peptones, lipase fats into lipids, amylase just like salivary amylase, here amylase are present which convert carbohydrate into glucose. What is the role of liver? Liver secretes a bile juice which helps in the emulsification. What do you mean by emulsification? Where bigger fat molecules or larger fat molecules are just converted into smaller fats. So this is known as emulsification. One more important point, since the secretion from the stomach is acidic, to make that medium basic, liver secretes the juice. The role of a bile juice, it's true, first of all it makes the medium basic, and second part, it helps in the emulsification of fats. Similarly, small intestine has its own enzyme known as the intestinal enzymes, and the role of intestinal enzyme is to convert bigger molecules into the smaller one. For example, protein is a bigger molecule and a bigger polymer, and its smaller unit is amino acid. So protein is broken down into amino acid. Carbohydrate is a bigger molecule, it is converted into a glucose, broken down into glucose. Fats is a bigger molecule which further break down into fatty acid and glycerol. And one more important point, in the small intestine is villi is present, which is a finger-like projection which increase the absorption and hence the surface area increases. So all these points are very much important. You must know the function of each and every enzyme. There is a separate role of liver which is making medium basic and emulsify the fats. pancreas is breaking by the action of enzymes like trypsin, lipase and amylase, and intestinal enzymes converting the bigger molecules into their smaller unit. Now next, when food reaches the large intestine, the major part of the large intestine is to absorb excess of water, and the rest of the material is just removed from the anus part. Now after the digestive system, that is the breakdown of glucose by various pathway. It is a 3-mark question. You must learn this flowchart for exam point of view, where glucose in cytoplasm, this part is important, glucose in the cytoplasm is converted into pyruvate, which is a 3-carbon compound. Now further breakage of pyruvate depends upon the condition, that is in presence of oxygen, which takes place in the mitochondria, it is converted into carbon dioxide and water. It is a simple respiration which we are taking, where we inhale oxygen, and in the presence of oxygen food is broken down into carbon dioxide, water and energy, and very large amount of energy released here, 30 ATP. So this is known as aerobic respiration, takes place in the presence of oxygen, occur in the mitochondria, and a large amount of energy is released. Whereas if there is an absence of oxygen, that is in the yeast cell, so the product is ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy. So you must learn, in case of presence of oxygen, only carbon dioxide and energy is produced, whereas in absence, ethanol, a 2-carbon compound is formed. So this is known as an anaerobic respiration, which takes place in the absence of oxygen, occur in cytoplasm, and it release very less amount of energy. Now what happened if there is a lack of oxygen? It is not absent, it is a lack. So it takes place in the muscle cell. These points are very much important. जो यहाँ underline किए हुए हैं, ये MCQ में easily frame हो जाते हैं. So in the lack of oxygen, it is lac L converted into lactic acid. It's just a trick to learn. Lactic acid and energy. So why a person feel a cramps after heavy muscular exercise? Reason is that there is a lack of oxygen in the muscles due to the formation of lactic acid.